As global oil prices continue to be volatile, a subsidiary of the Nigerian NLNG Limited, which is the Nigerian Liquefied Natural Gas Ship Management Limited, will from September the 1st receive half of the current salaries. Now, this decision, according to reports, is said to be in response to the more than 60% reduction in the company's revenues occasioned by the drop in the global oil prices, which has fallen from $140 to about $40 per barrel in the last 1 year. According to the information we have, the review of manning levels and wage scale for officers on the Bonny gas transport vessels was also affected. The review wage scale cannot be said to be a salary reduction, according to the authorities. The NLNG has claimed, while the company says it simply adjusted and aligned wages with internationally obtainable benchmarks. And the nation's gas exports have suffered a setback as Shell Petroleum Development Company has declared force majeure on gas supply to the Nigerian NLNG export facility on Bonny Island. Force majeure, as we all know, is a legal clause that allows companies to cancel or delay agreed deliveries due to unforeseen circumstances. The force majeure was declared on August the 8th following a leak on the Eastern Gas Gathering System pipeline, through which Shell supplies the bulk of its gas to the NLNG. And the story also following for you on the program. Ghana has passed its petroleum bill in the bid to attract foreign investors in the country. Let's bring in Dolapo Oni, the head of energy research at EcoBank Group, as he discusses this issue with us on the program. Good morning, Dolapo.
Good morning, Bolaji. Glad to have you.
Good to have you on the show. I want to start with the last point I mentioned, which has to do with the Ghana petroleum industry bill. What's your take on the fact that despite the various debates that we've had in our own legislation in Nigeria, we've not been able to pass this bill?
I think it's been a good development for Ghana. I mean, if you look at where they are right now, what they are trying to achieve in their oil and gas industry, I think the passage of the bill is a fantastic move, and it's really progressive. There's a lot of focus on transparency in the bill. There's a lot of focus on providing the right kind of incentives. I think also too, they also use the bill to drive local content at the same time. Also too, they're using it to drive local content. So it's an effective bill in what it tries to do. And I think the international community will be quite pleased with the bill.
And to know that Ghana is to start exploration very soon. The Tulu Oil, that's a state energy firm, is going to start exploration soon based on this recent development. What signal is this sending to our own country?
Yeah, I think what you're referring to is the new project that will also be starting next week. The 10th project, which is a new project by Tulu Oil that will be starting by next week, Thursday. We're expecting that product to produce about 40,000 barrels per day. And this new bill essentially just comes in at the right time to also ensure that those kind of investments reap the kind of rewards they get, because again, it includes the right kind of fiscal terms and fiscal flexibility that allows oil producers investing in times like this when oil prices are in the $40 range to ensure that they still get good return on their investment. I think it sends a message to us that we also need to look at our bill to ensure that we give it the right mix of transparency and fiscal flexibility so that we can attract investments, especially in the deep water where there's so many assets, but I mean, there's no development going on.
Okay, I would like to touch on the report that states that NLNG subsidiary, one of the subsidiaries, is going to cut workers' salaries. What does this mean for oil workers in general?
Well, no, I think it's a fallout from what we're seeing in the gas market. If you look at gas prices also, I mean, last year we were talking about gas prices in the double-digit range. We were talking about $10 per 1,000 cubic feet for LNG prices. But as we speak today, we're talking about $6, $7 net back price for gas, from especially to Asia and even Europe. We're not looking at a very different figure as well. So their revenues have reduced, and I think they're trying to push some of that to their workers. And this is in the national ship, in the shipping business of NLNG, the shipping subsidiary of NLNG, NSLML. That court is also across board. We're seeing it in other countries. We're seeing it in other affecting other nationalities as well. I think it's just a fallout of the market. It's likely to change if the market improves.
And the unending pipeline vandalism that seems to be the trend in the energy market, where Shell has declared a force majeure on one of its gas gathering system pipeline. How much of impact do you think this development would have, not just for Shell, but for the whole country, which also is trying to increase gas exploration?
Exactly. I think the key one is even revenue. Don't forget, NLNG is one of the major projects we have right now, which is working well, providing revenue, supporting the government with dividends that is paid to the NNPC almost twice yearly. So this is going to impact on that in terms of the volumes they can produce and actually export. Because this will cut production by about 50%.
Thank you so much, Dolapo Ed of Energy Research at EcoBank Group.